because I had been to this secret realm many times before, I easily avoided the mechanisms in the secret realm. The rest was the trial. After passing the trial, I would be able to receive the inheritance. In the plot, Shinji received half, and Xiaolin received the other half. But Xiaolin was too badly injured, so I had to send him to the spirit pond to heal first. These days, Shinji was quite obedient, quietly squatting in the corner, alone. This was already a huge improvement. On the 17th day, Xiaolin woke up while I was healing him. His eyes were clear and gentle, instantly different from the Xiaolin in my memory. My spiritual power was still being transmitted through my palm to him. But he suddenly avoided my hand. He raised his hand, skillfully intertwining it with my fingers. When our fingers intertwined, he softly called out to me, "Shinjo." I didn't know why I suddenly felt a bit cold, and wanted to pull my hand away, but Xiaolin firmly held my hand. His eyes seemed to be filled with endless longing. He softly said, "Shinjo, I miss you so much." Damn it, was he possessed by the male lead from the previous worlds? Loving Shinji so much. Before I could say anything, Xiaolin's eyes suddenly froze, returning to their usual cold and sharp appearance. He frowned, "Shinjo, who exactly are you?" I knew he was awake, and wanted to pull our intertwined fingers apart, but Xiaolin pretended not to know, his fingers still tightly gripping me. I angrily said, "Xiaolin." Xiaolin sighed and let go of my finger. But then, he grabbed my entire hand again. "Master, don't take risks for others in the future." I teased him, "What if it's for you?" But he suddenly raised his voice, "It's not even for me." He choked up, his voice carrying an imperceptible tremor. I almost lost Master. "Master, you're more important than me, you're more important than anyone." But I couldn't agree with Xiaolin. I definitely had to protect Shinji. But this unintentionally angered Xiaolin. That night, I was awakened by Shinji's screams. When I opened my eyes, I saw Xiaolin chasing Shinji. I was so scared that my soul flew away and I quickly ran to block Shinji's face. The ferocity on Xiaolin's face softened slightly, but he still didn't want to let Shinji go. "Master, I won't let you die for anyone. She is the root of everything. As long as we kill her, we can definitely return to our peaceful lives." What a vicious, stubborn, gloomy villain, you don't leave anything out. I sighed, hit Shinji, causing her to faint, and then said, "Xiaolin, don't you find it strange? I clearly hate her, but I have to protect her. Because if she dies, I can't live either." I told Xiaolin everything. Xiaolin frowned and looked serious from the beginning of the story, until he heard that I had been killed by him over and over again. His face immediately turned pale. He opened his mouth, and after a long while, he hoarsely said, "Master, I absolutely cannot harm Master." How could I harm Master? His fingers gripped my skirt tightly, using so much force that his knuckles turned white, as if I would leave the next second. His eyes were filled with panic, but his voice became increasingly small. "Master, don't hate me." I stroked his head, and softly said, "I should hate you." The person in front of me stiffened. "But isn't this life different?" "Xiaolin, I will never hate the you of this life. You have always been in front of me, always thinking of me, and have never given up on me." I didn't know if there was a moment when Xiaolin suddenly fell in love with Shinji as guided by the way of heaven. But at this moment, I was willing to believe Xiaolin. Xiaolin lowered his head, I couldn't see his face. Immediately after, I was suddenly hugged tightly by him. His head was buried in my shoulder, hot tears fell down my neck, slid into my heart, so hot that my eyes were stinging. He choked and said, "Master, I'm sorry. I actually killed Master." The matter of him killing me, the one who found it harder to forgive him than me, was him. Xu Ming kept watch outside for half a month, and finally started to continuously send people into the secret realm. This secret realm had many mechanisms, but they used their lives to fill them. Sooner or later they could use their lives to open a path. Time was pressing, so I told Xia Lin and Xin Shi to immediately enter the inheritance test. There was no need to mention the increase in strength. The most important thing was that the entire secret realm was a celestial treasure. Once the inheritance was received, the treasure would automatically recognize its owner. Even if the demon lord came, we wouldn't be afraid. Furthermore, the flow of time in the secret realm was different from the outside, a year inside, but only one day outside. What we lacked the most right now was time. But when we entered the test, Xia Lin suddenly stopped. "Master, come enter the test with me." I shook my head. The inheritance of this secret realm was originally yours and Xin Shi's. But he had a serious face. But didn't Master also say that this world is different? "Master, why not fight for it once?" I was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, "Okay. That's right, why not fight for it once? Didn't I fight for every chance to live, to be able to get to where I am today?" The trial in the secret realm really rejected me. It was clear that the difference in cultivation between me and Xia Lin was not that big, but my trial was many times more difficult than his. I had just climbed to the second floor of the trial with great difficulty, but Xia Lin was about to reach the third floor. But for some reason, he stopped in place, not moving. "Xia Lin?" Hearing my call, he turned his head. His gaze towards me became distant. Unlike the gentleness and longing before, he was now cold, lonely, and quiet, his whole body exuding a thick despair. He indifferently shed tears. He reached out his hand towards me, in midair, almost touching but not touching. "Xinzhou, why did you die? How could you leave me alone like this?" His eyes were so sad, it made my heart ache for some reason. In a flash, I almost cried along with him. Was the way of heaven controlling Xia Lin again? But Xin Shi had never died in any world before. So who is Xinzhou? Why does he make people feel so nostalgic? Immediately after, Xia Lin withdrew his hand and went up to the third floor without looking back. I heard his voice coming from afar, "Xinzhou, I will help you live." When Xia Lin was still on the 8th floor, demons began to rush in. I drew my sword to block in front of them. Everyone's cultivation was suppressed at the golden core stage. Even though my physique was much better, it was still a bit difficult to deal with. But as time passed, the number of demons increased. I was no longer able to block all of them, and demons began to rush in front of Xin Shi. My gaze stopped at the entrance of the trial. The top of the 9th floor tower lit up, proving that Xia Lin was already on the 9th floor. We just needed to persevere a little longer. But there were really too many demons. It was impossible to kill them all. Not long after, Xin Shi was surrounded by demons. I didn't have time to save her. Xin Shi had no choice but to draw his sword, hurriedly defending. "Yongyu, quickly come save me." I shouted, "Xin Shi, you are the young master of Hangshuang sect. At the age of 6, you reach the foundation establishment stage, then one step up to the golden core stage. You can be considered a genius among geniuses. Now your opponent is only at the golden core stage. What are you afraid of?" Also at the golden core stage, Xin Shi was blessed by the heavens and had the sect's secret technique. Her golden core stage was almost invincible, but her temperament was broken. She was afraid before even fighting, only able to exert 5 parts of her cultivation. Xin Shi was slashed by a saber. Her eyes were bloodshot as she said, "What do you understand? Genius, useless genius. Parents died in front of me, I am useless. Fellow sect members died in front of me, I am useless. Even mortals died in front of me, I am still useless. Even on the road, you, a devil like you, forced me. Even my fiancé wanted to kill me." The light in her eyes grew weaker and weaker, as if she no longer had any desire to live. She sneered, "The one who loved me died for me, the one who is still alive wishes he could kill me." I gritted my teeth, endured 2 stabs, and rushed towards her, helping her relieve the pressure. Xia Lin, hurry, hurry. I'm afraid I can't hold on any longer. What happened to Xia Lin? I wanted to follow and ask for clarification, but by the time I passed the 2nd level of the trial and reached the 3rd level, I could no longer see his figure. Suddenly, 3 large bells rang. Someone reached the 6th level and rang the bell of no regret. It was said that only people without regrets could ring this bell. That was the 6th level of the trial. So fast. Xia Lin had already passed the 6th level. I took a deep breath, stopped thinking too much, and focused on passing the trial. It was so hard to reach the 6th level, but I couldn't ring the bell of no regret. Indeed. In this life of mine, there were too many regrets. At first, I regretted not running far enough, then I regretted joining the male lead side, and finally, because of too much heartache, I regretted killing the male lead. Immediately after that, I was thrown out of the trial by the trial spirit. But surprisingly, Xinxi was already outside. I frowned and asked her, "Why didn't you pass the trial?" Tam Tri bit her lip and did not answer. I sighed. This life's female lead, it seems like I have ruined her. Just when we were about to lose our patience, the immortal disciples suddenly appeared in the secret realm. Although their numbers were not as large as the demons, their spiritual energy was pure and their techniques were exquisite. In the blink of an eye, they were like cutting bamboo, and arrived in front of us. It seemed that they were elite disciples of the immortal sect. They protected Xinxi from behind, and said softly, "Fellow Taoist Xin, it's okay." I had just breathed a sigh of relief, but unexpectedly, they immediately drew their swords and pointed at me. "There's still one hiding here." I couldn't argue back, and looked at Xinxi, who was silent. "Hurry up and explain." Xinxi hesitated for a moment, then took a step back, and said with a trembling voice, "Explain what?" "Explain that you're a demon who wants to kill me?" The blood in my entire body suddenly froze, my movements slowed down, and I didn't feel anything after being stabbed in the back by the demons. I just suddenly felt very tired. The immortal disciples came killing, I reflexively resisted. Until the sword tip was about to pierce my heart, I suddenly came to my senses. A sword pierced the person in front of me. Hot blood splattered on my face. I looked at the people in front of me and took a step back, expressionlessly saying, "It's okay, I will kill all of you, and survive. I will survive. After all, they are just NPCs in the book, I absolutely will not suffer for them." Just as I was exhausted, the entire secret realm suddenly shook violently, and then, a person walked out from the entrance of the trial. Xia Lin. I smiled and said, "You're here." But then, my entire body went limp, and I almost couldn't stand. Xia Lin flew in front of me and supported me, his eyes swept over every wound on my body, and in an instant, murderous intent surged. He softly said, "Master. Master, I'm here." Then he raised his head, seemingly a little suspicious. "Why, my master only wants to survive, and you all won't allow it?" In an instant, sand and rocks flew, the earth and sky shook, and the entire secret realm suddenly disappeared, and in its place was a beam of light that fell into Xia Lin's hands. The light dissipated, and an exquisite 9-story tower appeared. I heard someone exclaim, "The glass tower has appeared." Without the secret realm, I just discovered that the outside of the secret realm was so special. Tens of thousands of demonic armies, the 4 great demon generals, and me were all here. Meanwhile, the formation of the immortal sects was not weak at all. The 3 sect masters of the 5 great immortal sects had arrived, and the number of immortal sect disciples behind them was not inferior to the demon race. What a great formation! Immediately afterwards, a crack suddenly appeared in the void, endless black flames erupted from within, and then a person slowly walked out. Demon Lord. At this moment, I was really a little confused. What's wrong? Do we have to quickly overcome the 72 tribulations of journey to the west today? At first, we obtained the glass tower, and we would definitely survive today. But now that demon lord has arrived, and there are so many sect masters of immortal sections. It seems like I'm about to die again. Xia Lin grabbed my hand and suddenly asked me, Master, do you want to live? I was a little confused, of course. He had a serious face. Master, as long as you want to live, you will be able to live. His cultivation suddenly began to skyrocket. Xia Lin, what do you want to do? Xia Lin's cultivation continued to increase rapidly. Void Cave Late Stage, Void Cave Full Stage, Mahayana Early Stage, Mahayana Mid Stage, Mahayana Late Stage, Mahayana Full Stage, Tribulation Pass Early Stage. This was also the realm of most of the sect masters of the immortal sections. Was it because he received the inheritance of the secret realm that his strength increased so much? But in the previous world, he had not increased his realm by that much. But no matter what, I breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that I would be able to survive today. But right after that, Xia Lin's originally stagnant spiritual power suddenly exploded. His realm began to increase rapidly again. Tribulation Pass Early Stage, Tribulation Pass Mid Stage, Tribulation Pass Late Stage. The same realm as the Demon Lord. The people who were originally excited were all silent at this moment. I knew that Xia Lin had a secret treasure from the Suishu Palace on him, which could speed up his cultivation normally, and in times of crisis, he could forcefully increase his realm, but the price he had to pay was that after half an hour, his meridians would be severed, and he would become a cripple. For the Demon Lord and the Sect Master, who were only one step away from ascending, if they wanted to melt away all their jade and rock, this secret treasure had an amazing appeal. But this was definitely not something Xia Lin should use at this moment. He didn't only live for today. I asked him with a trembling voice, Xia Lin, are you crazy? His actions made me feel as if he only had today left. Xia Lin smiled, his slender fingers gently brushing away the tangled hair that covered my eyes. There was a hint of hidden anticipation in his eyes. Master, have you ever been in love? He didn't ask if I loved him, but asked me if I had ever loved. I couldn't remember anymore. After I crossed over to this world, I didn't have time to love anyone. I was between life and death, abandoning dignity, abandoning good and evil, struggling to survive. So what about before I crossed over? But before I crossed over, who was I? I trembled and said, I don't know. Xia Lin rubbed my head and said, Master, just pretend you've never loved. From now on, the sky is vast and the earth is vast, you can love whoever you want to love. My heart ached so much that I suddenly convulsed, an immense fear enveloped me. I felt like I was about to lose the most important thing. I grabbed Xia Lin's wrist, panicking and saying, Xia Lin, what are you talking about? Have you forgotten, if you die, the world will restart, I will continue to fall into the loop. I choked and said, Xia Lin, don't die. But he gently removed my hand, Master, this time is different. As long as you want to live, you will live. Master, I came here for this very reason. Suddenly a strong wind blew, thunder and lightning rumbled. Xia Lin charged forward. The Demon Lord also died at Xia Lin's hands like every other time. The 3 sect masters of the immortal sects died, 2 died, 1 escaped. The remaining rabble died, and those who ran. Xia Lin was also seriously injured. But that was enough to make me cry with joy. I knelt beside him. It's good that you're not dead, Xia Lin, it's good that you're not dead. This was the first time I felt grateful that the male lead was protected by the heavens and was so hard to kill. Xia Lin weakly raised his hand. His fingertips brushed past my tears. Master, I can't live. Sure enough, right after that, his realm suddenly plummeted, until he became immortal. His injuries suddenly erupted. His mortal body couldn't bear these injuries at all. I hugged him, tears suddenly pouring down. Xiaolin, don't die. The ground suddenly cracked open, rain poured down, and the mountains began to tilt. The world was about to collapse. But Xiaolin suddenly didn't know where he got the strength. He pushed himself up, the blood on his lips stained the hem of his clothes. He said, "Master, please calm down and listen to me. If the male lead dies, the world will not be destroyed. If the female lead dies, the world will not be destroyed either. This world is different. As long as you want, you can live. As long as you want, you can do whatever you want." Really? The world continued to collapse. Xiaolin spoke louder, "Master, believe me." I looked at Xiaolin, his sword-like eyebrows were cold and elegant, unlike the previous world. When he looked at me he always carried a hint of warmth. But it was also unlike the previous Xiaolin of this world. His expression was resolute but his eyes were filled with surging hopeless love. Even pain and death could not move him in the slightest. "Okay, I believe in Xiaolin. I believe the world will not restart. Believe that I will survive. Believe that I can do anything I want to do." The world stopped collapsing. Looking up, the world had returned to normal. It was as if all the collapses were just my own illusion. Xiaolin breathed a sigh of relief, smiling and falling into my arms. But I cried uncontrollably, "What about you, Xiaolin? What about you? I can't reincarnate, can't restart, so where should I go to see you?" Xiaolin's face had already started to lose all color. He opened his mouth but couldn't say anything. I quickly pressed close to his mouth, wanting to hear what he said clearly, but was unexpectedly gently kissed by him. His lips were cold, dry but soft, warm. The kiss had not ended yet. The person in my arms had already stopped breathing. His blood was still on my lips. I hugged Ta Lam's body, staring at the sky. So he survived. And yet he was so lonely. But Xinzhou, who is he? In a flash, in the thick darkness, something seemed to suddenly hit me. Oh. I remember. Xinzhou. It's me. I am Xinzhou. So I am Xinzhou. It turns out that there is no such thing as time travel. I died at the age of 25. When I was crossing the street, a car lost its brakes and crashed into a woman pushing a baby carriage in front of me. I instinctively saved the two of them. When I died, I thought, their 2 lives, in exchange for one of mine. It was a bargain, right? I accepted the fact that I was dead. My parents and friends all accepted it. Only one person did not accept it. Xiazi did not accept it. He was my next-door neighbor. He was a genius since he was young. He did not like going to school, nor did he like making friends. He was always alone at home reading books, figuring out a bunch of things I did not understand. Sometimes I saw him sitting in front of his house, looking at the sky alone, not knowing what he was thinking. He was lonely, cold, arrogant, and his whole person exuded an aloofness that made people stay away for thousands of miles. My parents told me, geniuses are all like that. But wouldn't geniuses be lonely? That's why I always looked for him to play with. He always ignored me. I sat next to him doing my homework. His parents also welcomed me. They said, "It's good to have friends." But I knew that Xiazi didn't consider me a friend. He treated me like air. Until one time, I solved a math problem, and no matter how I solved it, the answer was wrong. Suddenly, a sigh sounded above my head. Xiazi, with fair skin and a delicate face, pointed at a number and said, "Wrong here." I looked at him blankly. He sighed and said, "This is the wrong calculation. You should divide first and then add." I was still a little confused. He looked at me with a puzzled expression, as if saying, "Are you stupid?" I originally thought he would lose his patience, but unexpectedly he picked up a pen and taught me step by step. That was the first time Xiazi talked to me. After that, I went to his house more and more often. I told him interesting stories about school, badmouthed the teachers, and talked about delicious snacks. Xiazi was still quiet, but no matter what I said, he would respond. I remember one time, he said, "Don't eat so many snacks, it's not good." He was young but mature and independent, with a calmness and indifference that people his age didn't have. He had never eaten my favorite snack, the $2 spicy stick. His parents were also very pleased with this. Until one time, I secretly brought him a pack. He refused to eat it. I said, "Just one piece. I skipped breakfast to buy it for you. This is a special $1 spicy stick, normally I can't bear to eat it." Xiazi frowned, but in the end he still took a bite. I saw his eyes light up for a moment. But he still turned away and said, "It's normal." After a moment, he said again, "It's just that you bought it, I won't waste it, I'll eat it all." Actually, I know that everyone has unimaginable expectations for Xiazi. He's only 10 years old, and is about to finish his university studies. But I always feel that he's about my age, and should be as happy as me. Eating spicy sticks that have no nutrition, playing useless games that waste time. Xiazi joined the National Research Institute when he was only 17. I don't know the details because of confidentiality. But he comes to see me once a month. He's still the same, still doesn't say anything. He just sits next to me. I find it strange, and ask him, "Xiazi, you don't have anything to say to me, why did you come to see me?" Dat was 17 years old and nearly 1 meter 8 tall, but because he was thin and too white, he looked very fragile. Coming to this world for so long, I only remembered that I was the demon General Yongyu, forgetting that my real name was Shinzhou. Even more so, I forgot that I had died before I crossed over to this world. But how did Xiaolin know my name in the old world? I looked at the person in my arms gradually turning cold, and couldn't help but start to tremble. "Xiaolin, who are you?" Immediately after, my soul suddenly left my body. I flew into the air, flying and flying. Finally stopping, the entire world seemed to appear before my eyes. I was using a strange perspective from above to look down on the entire world. Everything that was happening in the world was appearing in my mind one by one. Everything was moving according to my will. It seemed that I had become the lord of this world. Or in other words, the way of heaven of this world. What exactly was going on? Suddenly, a voice reached the bottom of my heart. "Shinzhou." Who was it? Too familiar. Too nostalgic. Too warm. I asked him, "Who are you?" Before he could answer, I suddenly realized something. "Xiazi?" I called out with a trembling voice, "Xiazi. I am Xiazi." He sat on the cement steps, his eyes had lost their childishness, becoming even more elegant. He raised his head to look at me, his eyes as deep as the night, as if there were stars twinkling. He said, "I want to see you." So I came. I was very stupid, but at this moment, I suddenly understood. The synonym of "want to see you" is liking you. When I was 18, Xiazi seriously confessed to me. He said, "The first time I met you, you were like an invader of my world. My world has a lot of knowledge, but all the knowledge combined cannot teach me how to resist you, to chase you away. I used to have a headache because of this. But now, I feel incredibly happy. Shinzhou, I am your loser, your loyal servant. Shinzhou, I will love you with all my might. We got engaged when we were 25. I didn't work overtime that day, and Xiazi just happened to have time. I said I would make his favorite celery lamb dumplings. Then I got into a car accident. Then my parents aged a lot overnight. Then they had an IVF and had a child. They advised Xiazi, people should always move forward. The child I saved grew up, and Xiazi went to visit him, but his mother cried and chased him away. I don't want to let the child know that he has a life. My best friend had new friends, and the stores I used to go to with her had new people accompanying her. Everyone was moving forward. Everyone was gradually forgetting me. They said, Xiazi, your life is still long, you can't live in the past forever. But Xiazi said, what if I just want to do that? 5 years after my death, Xiazi still couldn't accept my death. He had devoted all his heart and soul to finally research a machine that could transfer human consciousness into the virtual world. As for me, before my last breath, Xiazi put me into a cryogenic device. He used my last breath to read my consciousness. My subconscious automatically created the novel I had read before I died. And I became Yongyu. But because my subconscious knew that I was dead, I created for myself a certain death. The way of heaven. It turned out that I was the way of heaven of that world. Xiazi was outside the world watching me. Watching me be born and die. He was so worried that he couldn't swallow his food, but there was no other way. This world was created by my consciousness, it was exclusive, other consciousnesses entering would be assimilated and lose their memories, and their lifespan was uncertain. After the consciousness entered this world, the body in the original world would die. I could relive that world over and over again, because it was originally my world. But Xiazi couldn't. If he died, then he would really die. But in the end, he still chose to enter this world. So this time the world was different. Everything was different. He said, Shinzhou, even if there was only a little hope, I would come to help you. He sighed again, his voice trembling slightly. Actually, it's just that I miss you so much. I miss you so much. Xiazi, why am I so stupid? My life, as bright as the stars in the sky, was ruined by you. How could this be? You clearly came to me because you wanted me to live a better life. I cried silently. In my daze, a warm light enveloped me. It was Xiazi's remaining consciousness. A soft sigh came from beside my ear. I didn't want you to remember. I don't want to see you cry, he said, but if you remember, Shenzhou, never forget me. In this world, live well. Immediately after, the warmth disappeared. Instead, there was a coldness, much colder than before. The sound of the wuhui bell echoed in my head. 3 rings of the bell. After listening carefully, I realized. It turned out that each ring was Xiazi talking to me. No regrets. I don't regret. All right. Xiazi, you will live well. This world is the love letter I left for you. You will read it carefully. The child next door was a bit noisy. His laughter was loud, his crying was loud, even his voice was loud. It was completely different from the quiet silence of our house. It was like a wall separating 2 worlds. This side was a desolate wasteland, the other side was a prosperous place. My parents were afraid of disturbing me, so they never spoke at home. When they brought me food, they were very careful, with a distant look in their eyes. One had to observe carefully to see the deep love. All the people who came near me either saw that I was arrogant and hated me, or saw that I had potential and flattered me. It seemed like they had forgotten that I was still just a child. I was just a little smarter than normal people. Until the child next door climbed over that wall. He smiled at me. Hello. My name is Shinzhou. I still found him very noisy. He seemed very persistent. Even if I didn't pay attention to him, he would still come over many times. I didn't chase it away either. For the first time, my world. There was really an intruder. We were like two worlds, silently struggling. Then, it won. I was dragged by it from the wilderness to the bustling place. The bustling place. Shinjo often told me stories about school. But she never told me that she was so popular at school. There was someone standing in front of her house, loudly saying that she liked her. She pulled that person into the alley. I quietly followed behind, listening to her reject that person. I already have someone I like. Who was it? Why haven't I heard you mention it? That day, I couldn't read a single page of the book. Luckily, Shinjo isn't too smart. I tried to probe her, and she laughed and said, "I'm just fooling them. I'm just looking for an excuse to reject them." But I don't know why, I was a little disappointed. I pretended to be indifferent and said, If they really want to ask, just say you." Shinjo paused. "You say you like me?" My heart was pounding when Shinjo said she liked me, but my face still showed no emotion. I like you." Shinjo was embarrassed and confused, his face red as he waved his hand. "No need." "Why not?" "You have to like me. You can only like me." "But why?" "Oh, it turns out the person who was really moved was me." I liked Shinjo. The day Shinjo had an accident, I knelt in front of your hospital bed. Then I knelt in front of the doctor. Knelt in front of everyone. "Please everyone, save me. Please save me." But no one can save me. Then I will. Shinjo, if no one can save you, I will save you. I will change my research direction and start my research from the beginning. It is very difficult. Very, very difficult. Sometimes when the research was not progressing, I would go out to look for traces of Shinjo. Her parents. But her parents had a younger brother. Completely different from her. They were afraid of seeing things that reminded them of people, so they threw away everything related to Shinjo in the house. Her younger brother didn't even know that there was a sister in the house. I understood them. People always want to avoid pain. They loved Shinjo, so they avoided Shinjo. I went to visit the child and the mother that Shinjo had saved. The child was 6 years old. When the child's mother heard Shinjo's name, she felt like she had seen a great enemy, and quickly chased me out of the house. She covered her face and choked up. "I don't want to let him grow up with the guilt of having to shoulder the lives of others. It's too heavy. I don't want him to remember that time." What about my Shinjo? Who would remember my Shinjo? My parents didn't want to remember me, and the person I saved didn't want to remember me either. So who will remember my Shinjo? I understand them, I really do. But at this moment, I couldn't hold back my anger. You all want to forget, so who will remember me? Why must my Shinjo be forgotten? Why, aren't you the ones who died? I took a deep breath. It's okay, it's okay. Shinjo, I will remember you. I will remember you forever. Even if there is no trace of you left in this world. Fortunately, the research was successful. Shinji's consciousness has revived in your world. But somehow, you have already decided to die. Oh, because your subconscious knows that you are dead. Time in Shinjo's world is 20 times faster than in the real world. I watched you die and come back to life over and over again. I heard you question the heavens. Why do I have to die? Why can't I live? My beloved Shinjo, you don't have to die, you will live. I've come to help you. I've come to see you. I've come to love you.